Hi everybody, this is Toffee bringing you chapter 17 of my 4 Kings 100% growth LTC. This is another clear that is basically the same as the old run. This is the map Sally was trained for, though it wasn't strictly necessary. This is a siege map with the throne in the center basically begging to be rewarped to. The left army's job is to get Jeremy and Lionel into position to rewarp to the center, while the right army focuses on getting Sally and Zack to their respective side objectives. Regis will see some actual non-staff use in this map thanks to his PRF. We needed Patty to promote here because we need 5 8 move units on this map to get the best clear with all of the side objectives we care about. Regis opens the map by chipping down a specific wall with Maelstrom. We'll see later why this was needed, but he technically only needed to do 1 damage to it. Marcy will pick up Colt to perform a 2 Paladin Scooch. We need to ship Sally to the top right part of the map to recruit Elias and Alicia, so we're gonna have to resort to some rescue dropping to get that done. We rig crits to kill enemies, even if they don't directly seem like a threat, because the Sage in the bottom center room of the map has bolting and will try to pick off any weakened units on enemy phase. Jeremy needs to be rescue dropped ahead so as to be able to rewarp on turn 2. Technically, it should be possible to get someone up on the left to kill the Armor Knight for the Silver Lance, but it's way too much of a hassle, and that weapon isn't even useful in the first place. That crit from Jeremy wasn't planned for, but the RN's lined up, and it makes the next turn much simpler. Sarah's dodges are pretty fortunate as well, since it keeps her out of bolting death range. The Sage ends up going for Zack, who has Weapon Triangle helping his avoid. The true green units are our recruitables, Elias the Sniper and Alicia the Sage. They can be recruited by either Max or Sally, and we prefer Sally because she's lighter and hence easier to carry around. Even though I've emphasized staff grinding so much in this run, surprisingly, Elias is the more valuable recruitable of the two, and it's thanks to his personal weapon. Jeremy just barely manages to sneak into the throne room, and he and Lionel are moved in a very specific way. There's a mage to the right of the wall that we want dead on enemy phase since he's in the way of our movement on turn 3. And Jeremy wants the boss kill EXP, so we want to place Lionel against the wall. However, the boss of this chapter gained a 1 to 3 range lance in the deposition update, meaning he would normally prefer to go for Lionel, who can't counter, rather than Jeremy, who can. Our solution is to give Jeremy a 2-use Shine Tome, which tricks the boss into going for him instead, and rig him to crit 1 out of the 2 attacks. Regis switches targets to a specific mage who would otherwise block Colt's way. He needs 2 rounds of combat to kill him since he can't crit or one-shot. Mercy drops Colt on a square that he would never have been able to reach on his own. This does put her in range of a sniper, but the bowbreaker suppresses his hit rate. Has Dark Light set up in order to artificially lower his HP, though I probably should have equipped the main gush. The goddess icons on Jeremy. It may have been possible for him to dodge Lars's attack, but it's not necessary. Shoutouts to Jeremy just barely one-rounding those shamans with Divine. The sniper who went for Marcy has a stealable speed wings, and we need to bait him back up so Zack can get to him in time. Patty should have flown out of bolting range there. Leaving her there was like an attempt at getting an optional side objective that I ended up not even getting, and it just makes the clear more unreliable for no good reason. The reason we needed to chip that wall with Regis is because Lionel, even with capped strength, the saber, and the boost from Fleurette, only does 49 out of the wall's 50 HP. Since we entered the throne area last turn, a bunch of bolting sages reinforced that we need to survive for a turn, and most of our units run away from them. We could of course technically seize on this turn, but we need an extra turn to get our recruitables. Speaking of them, Alicia to us is simply a barrier bot. Her PRF is the Canticle, a light tome with 1 to 3 range. Elias himself is pretty irrelevant, but his PRF hunting bow is of great interest, and would pay for his recruitment cost even in an incomplete recruitment run. It grants Canto Plus, which we'll put to use on a few different units. Our first use of silence is to incapacitate that sage who would otherwise threaten to kill some damaged units. Colt's longbow scares the snipers off of going for him, which means they will all dogpile on Marcy. Marcy gets right into position for Jeremy to take Sally, and he rewarps to where he needs to drop her. Sally could one-round the armor with the Fleurette boost, though that ends up not happening thanks to Jeremy's critical HP. The Apex Sniper moves to that exact tile thanks to the position of his buddies and his desire to avoid being countered by Marcy. Ven serves his bolting bait very well here, and if Patty was out of range, that other sage would also have ended up going for Ven. Sally carried a couple of staves just so that we could use them on turn 4. This is what Colt needed to hit A-axis for, tearing down this wall with the Brave Axe. And thanks to the sniper's cooperation, Zack can get us the speed wings. The rest of this turn is just getting some last minute EXP and some staff grinding in. Chapter 17 in 4 turns. I'll see you next time.